Let's quickly talk about the 3-step cycle you need to progress. We're going to jump right into it. The first thing you need is to take action, plain and simple. Everyone knows it. It's common sense. If you don't do anything, you don't get anything, right? You need to move, you need to do things, right? The second step is correction. I see a lot of times people are constantly taking action, especially sales reps. They're doing role plays, they're doing this, they're doing that, they're doing mock calls, they're connecting with people, but they're not receiving the correction to readjust and make sure that their actions are in alignment with where they're trying to go and in regards to the timeline that they're trying to get there in. Taking action is great, but without correction, you don't know if those are the correct actions. This doesn't mean you have to get a coach, but you have to find those corrections from somewhere, whether you're analyzing your own things to get that correction, or you do have someone that's looking over your things that has experience to give you that correction. And the reason why I'm even talking about this is I see some people doing neither. And the problem with that is practice doesn't make perfect. I know that's the age-old saying, but it's wrong. Practice just makes habit. And you could very well just have bad habits. You could be creating bad habits. You could be formulating and reinforcing bad habits. And it could be worse than if you did nothing in some cases, depending on what you're actually doing, right? So you need that correction. And in order to get that correction, you need to track what you're doing if you're getting that correction by yourself and analyze, is this working? Is it not working? Right? Or like I said, get someone that can help you look over your stuff that has experience. You need to be able to analyze if the person you're receiving correction from, if you are going that route, even has the credentials to give you correction. That's another area where people are going wrong with correction is they'll do role plays, for example, is just top of my head, easy example. They'll do role plays and then get correction from the people they're doing role plays with. And in most cases, it's a case of the blind leading the blind, and they're not really improving, or they're picking up on habits that are making them worse, right? I've seen people performing great on offers, for example, then go and role play with a bunch of people and then start performing worse. And I've jumped in, I've reviewed some of their calls because they came to me and said, hey, I don't understand what happened. I'm reviewing their calls and I said, hey, why are you doing this on the call? Where did that come from? And they said, oh, I role played with this guy and he told me that I should do this on my calls. And I'm like, well, who's this guy to tell you that? And he's like, oh, I don't know. It's just a guy I was role playing with, probably a brand new to the game beginner giving advice just off of the way they feel, like, oh, I feel like you should do this. But that person took that advice and ran with it, and then it actually lowered their results. So you also have to make sure you understand who are you getting this correction from. And then the third thing is consistency. You need two things with consistency. You need patience and you need risk tolerance. You need to be able to go out there, take risks, because whether you're listening to someone else's advice or you're going with your gut, it is still a risk. Nothing's 100% guaranteed. There's a lot of nuance and a lot of other factors. So there is a bit of a risk, and you need to be able to tolerate that risk and maintain your effort through that risk, because sometimes you're not going to see results right away. Sometimes it's going to take months, if not years. Sometimes you're going to be able to stack a lot of small wins and see it, slowly progressing. But most of the time, a lot of things behind the scenes that are really important, that take a long time to get done, is going to be almost invisible. The progress is going to be nearly invisible to you. And you need to be able to trust the work that you're doing over time. And trusting the work, especially if it's something like entrepreneurship, something like remote sales, can be a risk. Can be a risk because you're risking your time, you're risking your money in some cases. But you need to be consistent to get anything done. And those are the three things you need to go through. That's the cycle you want to consistently iterate on and improve on and learn from is, okay, what actions am I taking? In what ways am I getting correction? Am I tracking my numbers? Am I tracking the data and analyzing it to adjust my path? Am I getting feedback from someone who I can trust to adjust my path on my behalf? Definitely still need to bring them data so that they can, have the metrics to do that. And have I been consistent? A lot of times I hear people, they say, hey, this isn't working. Hey, I'm not sure about this thing. I ask them, what's your volume? Super, super low. Hey, I've been applying for roles. How many did you apply to? Like 5. Hey, I'm not sure if I'm performing well in this offer. I'm not sure if I'm setting enough appointments. Well, how many dials did you make? About 20 a day, 10 a day, right? You need to have the consistency. You need to have the volume in conjunction with the corrected action to get great results in anything. And if you just consistently go through that cycle, if you consistently analyze yourself, you will progress in almost anything that you do. Plain and simple. Hopefully that helps. I'll see you in the next video.